The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, Part 2. When Gibbon writes about the fall of the Roman Empire, he refers to a specific event. By 476, the territory of the western half of the Roman Empire had shrunk to include only most of Italy. Emperor Romulus Augustus was deposed and was not replaced by another emperor. The Roman general Odoacer declared himself king of Italy. This event is still seen by most historians as the fall of Rome, although the eastern part of the empire, whose capital was Constantinople, lasted until 1452 when the Ottomans conquered Constantinople. Although contemporary historians refer to that region as the Byzantine Empire, a term that was not used until the 18th century, the dominant language in the government and the people was Greek and not Latin, but the population of the Byzantine Empire consider themselves Romans. However, for centuries the fall of Rome was viewed by European writers as a catastrophic event in European history. Medieval writers and thinkers believed that the fall of Rome was the beginning of an irreversible decline that would not stop until the end of the world. Later historians, starting with the Renaissance, began to view the centuries immediately following the fall of Rome as the Dark Ages. It is a reflection of the progress of Western civilization. It included a widespread loss of central authority and a sharp decline in knowledge and culture. The great appreciation felt by Renaissance writers towards Greece and ancient Rome continued until the time of Gibbon and played a major role in revolutionary political and philosophical ideas in the 18th century. Gibbon's satirical view towards Christianity and Rome's decline in his book The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire reflected his intellectual and social background in that era. He embodied the growing doubt in religion during the Enlightenment and the continuing intellectual belief in the cultural and historical importance of ancient Rome to Western civilization. Gibbon began his book by describing the Roman Empire at the height of its glory in the 2nd century. At that time, the Roman Empire included the most civilized part of humanity, and its peaceful inhabitants enjoyed and spent on enjoying the benefits of wealth and luxury. According to Gibbon, by the 2nd century the Roman Empire had reached its maximum extension, except for the expansion of Ethiopia, the Arabian Peninsula, Ireland, and modern Scotland. However, Emperor Trajan tried in the 2nd century to expand the borders of the empire even further. After a war that lasted for 5 years, he added the lands of Dacia after defeating King Decebalus in modern Romania, and established a modern province called Dacia. He also defeated the Parthian Empire, which was based in Iran, and established new imperial provinces in Armenia, Assyria, and Mesopotamia. After Trajan's death, his successor Hadrian abandoned all these provinces except Dacia. The Euphrates River returned to be the eastern border of the Roman Empire. The emperors who followed Hadrian, Antoninus Pius and Marcus Aurelius, continued to the idea of preserving the dignity of the empire without trying to expand its borders. To achieve this goal, the army of Rome was led by educated men, even though the soldiers were of the lowest classes and often of the most immoral human beings. The soldiers who served in the Roman legions were disciplined, well-trained, and had a sense of honor, and were regularly well paid. The main unit of the Roman army was the legion, which consisted of 55 companies of armed infantry and 10 squadrons of cavalry. The soldiers who fought in the legions were Romanian citizens, but the army also included conscripts whose troops were recruited from provincial residents who did not have Roman citizenship or from countries whose rulers belonged to the Roman Empire. The legion was able to walk for approximately 20 miles in 6 hours while carrying heavy supplies. Gibbon then listed the provinces of the Roman Empire, which included Spain, which included modern Spain and Portugal, and Gallia, which included France, Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Switzerland, parts of West Germany, England, Wales, Italy, parts of Bavaria, modern Austria, Dalmatia, the Adriatic coast, Bosnia, modern Croatia, Dacia, and Romania. Moesia in Serbia and Bulgaria, Thrace, Macedonia and Greece, which includes almost Greece, modern North Macedonia, Asia Minor, modern Turkey, Syria, Phoenicia, modern Lebanon, Egypt and Africa, which did not include the entire continent but only Northwest Africa. After that, Gibbon concluded by remarking that the empire were 2,000 miles wide and occupied the best part of the temperate zone. Gibbon continued his discussion of the greatness of Rome by moving on to the topics of religion and the social and political organization of Rome. He argued that military power alone could not explain Rome's success. There was great religious tolerance both from the government and between different sects and cultures. The general principles of government were wise, simple, and charitable. It was believed that the Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Celtic pagans had the right to worship the gods of their choice. All gods and their rituals were recognized. In fact, some believed that the gods of other peoples were the same gods but with different names. Gibbon admitted that the Senate in Rome had sometimes persecuted certain sects, such as the exile of the Egyptian sects of Isis and Serapis from Italy, but in the end, even the Egyptian sects were allowed. Philosophical schools such as the Stoicism, Platonism, the Epicureanism enjoyed freedom of thought and discussion, even if they did not believe in the existence of gods. The philosophy focused on human nature regardless of their beliefs about religion. Philosophers in the Roman Empire enjoyed freedom of inquiry. Rome was also able to expand by integrating other peoples. Unlike Greek city-states such as Sparta and Athens, Rome often granted rights and citizenship to peoples while maintaining the distinction between Italy and the provinces. Italy was exempt from taxes and the emperors, and the Senate kept Rome as the capital. However, Rome gave the opportunities to join the military and political elites even to the inhabitants of the provinces. Gibbon says the descendants of the Gauls who besieged Julius Caesar in Alesia led armies and ruled the provinces and were accepted into the Roman Senate. Through the spread of the Latin language and Roman culture, the provinces were unified under Roman rule, and this remained even when Rome invaded Greece and the Greek-speaking eastern lands, where Greek culture and literature became so common among Romans that every member of the upper class spoke both Latin and Greek. Thank you for watching.